Parrots are really awesome pets, but what do you do when they pluck? I had someone write to me and say that their cockatiel has plucked for a long time and then screams, and they got a second cockatiel in hopes to kind of make the first one happy. So she screams. What do you do? Hey guys, I'm Kaylin. I'm the author of the Parrot Bliss Bond and a couple other parrot books. Make sure to check those out on Amazon. This here is Bliss. She is my Timna. Timna parrots, along with African greys, maybe the greys more so because they're more popular, so they're more common anyway, but they're known for being pluckers. Any parrot species can pluck. My avian vet had told me that she has seen like every species come in plucked, and it's a real challenge. Now, in the wild, they don't really pluck. They might pluck some feathers out when they're nesting, but generally speaking, it isn't a problem the way it is when they're in captivity. What do you do? Well, guys, one of the problems is that there's more than one cause for plucking, and therefore there's more than one possible solution. The biggest challenge is that we don't get to talk to our parrots and ask them what's wrong. Is your skin itchy? Is there a scent in the house that's making you basically have an allergic reaction? Perfumes, smoke, detergent. Parrots are very sensitive to those smells. And by the way, guys, they're not good for us either. But they're not good for us, and we don't really notice the toll on our body. Parrots, it can really affect their respiratory system because it's far more delicate than ours, and it can also cause them to pluck. Is your parrot stressed out? Is there something outside the window, like cars driving by, something that you think nothing of, but that might be totally stressing out your parrot? Is your parrot just plain old frustrated, lonely, bored? There are so many reasons why parrots can pluck. And so we can't ask them what's wrong. And so you kind of have to really try multiple things and be willing to experiment and sort of be a Sherlock Holmes and try to figure out what is going on. Easy? No, not at all. So if I had a situation where my parrot was plucking, and I did adopt Hera, our African gray, who came to us as a plucker, as an adult, and her plucking was fine until she lost her partner, and now it's gotten a little worse. She wasn't plucking anymore. Now she's plucked a little more. But what do I do? How do I deal with it? In a couple of different ways. Number one, I try to really give them a good diet. Sometimes a parrot's plucking, like I said, due to an allergy, or sometimes they can have a yeast issue, like in their skin. And so it can be at the physiological level. And at that point, it's really important to try to make sure that they have the appropriate diet for their species, which isn't always easy because there are so many different species of parrots. And then I would also even try to enhance that diet. I really like a pellet-based diet that has fresh vegetables and whatever else my parrots need for either seeds or nut fat, that kind of thing. But for that diet, I like to make sure to give them some eggs. It's really good protein for them. I like to make sure to give them some probiotics, some food that is a natural probiotic. I also make sure that they have enough calcium, things like that. Super important. So really revisit or visit your parrot's diet and see what you can do to improve their diet. Next, make sure that your parrot isn't lonely. One of a parrot's basic needs is actually the same as ours. If you have a cat, not so much. If you have a dog, a lot of people get a second dog to keep their dog company. Often you need to do that with a parrot. And guys, that's what the person who wrote to me said that they did. They got another cockatiel for their cockatiel, but now they both scream. So sometimes having a friend alone can take care of things. Like I said, Hera was happy and she wasn't plucking anymore until she lost her mate. So that's kind of challenging. Now, in the case of the cockatiels that are plucking, one of the other problems that happens is once a parrot has plucked for more than about a month, it becomes a really hard habit to break. Think of humans becoming drinkers or smokers or drug addicts. Once they've created the addiction, it's not easy to break. And there's no psychologist to help them through it. There's no Alcoholics Anonymous or any kind of anonymous. They're just on their own trying to survive. And once they are plucking, they get addicted to it because it releases some endorphins, as I understand it, when they pluck. So there's a part of them that likes it. It's a tricky thing. It's really important at that point to, number one, understand that once that behavior set, it's very hard to change. And I'm not saying you should just accept it. I'm saying you have to understand that it's going to be difficult to overcome. Number two, like I said, you have to try to address multiple possible issues because it might be one thing and it might be several things. The next thing I would do is I would make sure that my parrot has plenty of moisture. Give them, spritzer showers kind of thing so that their skin stays moist. I have heard about, excuse me, getting some aloe vera juice. And the trick is you have to go to the grocery store and buy it, and it doesn't last very long, to spritz your bird with it. There are some commercial products on the market for that kind of thing where you can spray your parrot with something to try to relieve plucking. I don't know how well they do or don't work, but we had a green Chihuahua that started to pluck, and we were moisturizing her skin, and she seems to have stopped because we jumped on it. Right when we noticed she was plucking, we started to address it thinking maybe it was a skin issue, and it seems to have been. When your parrot has a friend, like I was saying, that seems to help. Sometimes making sure that your parrot's engaged enough, maybe moving their cage, maybe they're bored, maybe, you have to try to look at all of these possible reasons. You have to sort of stare at your parrot and try to deduce what might be wrong and then try to give them several solutions. Now, when parrots scream, that's sort of a hard one too. If I had the cockatiels, I would try to be really quiet. I would actually really lower my tone with them so that hopefully they kind of start to try to mimic and match it, and hopefully start to try to bring their noise level down. Is it doable? Yes. Is it going to be probably pretty tricky and challenging? Yes. And frankly, it's a risk, but you can try getting another cockatiel or two because, again, they are flock birds and they tend to be happy when there's more of them. They tend to feel more safe and secure. They tend to feel like they have more of that flock to keep them company, and it makes them feel better. So there you have several ideas, several suggestions, because like I said, you really have to try a combination of them. And it is a very difficult thing. One more that I've tried that's worked and helped me is when Hera was plucking, I also made sure to give her plenty of time outside in the fresh air and sunshine. And guys, that kind of worked like magic. That really helped her, it seems like, feel better, and she was plucking a lot less. So at least for an African gray, I think that's a real considerable solution. But making sure that your parrot's safely outside so that they don't get hurt, so that they can't fly away safely, can have some fresh air and sunshine, that can make a big difference. If you have had things that have worked for you, please be sure to share them below. It will not only help me, but help other people who are reading your posts. And if the video helps you and you try something, please let me know. Any questions or comments down below, and we'll catch you in the next feathered video.